The Arena is Hearthstone's popular alternative to play mode. Rather than carefully thumbing through the collection to construct a top tier deck, players first choose a class, then choose one card out of 3, 30 times to build the deck. The cards that they're offered can be class cards or neutral cards, and are chosen at random every turn from the entirety of Hearthstone's card pool. Well, almost the entire card pool. Hey folks, how's it going? I'm FalconePunch 55, and I'm here to talk about the recent changes made to Hearthstone's Arena mode. See, ever since standard format came this year, Arena players have been increasingly frustrated that while Constructed sees these balance changes, a blind eye seems to be being turned to Arena mode. What makes matters worse is that both Karazhan and Whispers of the Old Gods have introduced cards that make the already seemingly broken classes in Arena just that much worse. But after a lot of waiting, Arena players can finally rejoice that their favourite game mode is seeing some balance changes in the form of what you could essentially call a ban list, or what I like to call the new Arena format. And it's worth noting that this isn't really the beginning of the Arena format. The Cthulhu cards were never even included in Arena in the first place, and, well, nor was Purify. Purify because the card is just terrible. The Cthulhu cards because, well, they require a lot of synergy with each other in order to work, and the chances of drafting Cthulhu and more than one Cthulhu synergy card was very, very unlikely. While I can understand Cthulhu Veclaw and a couple others not being included, maybe Cthulhu's Apprentice and Cthulhu's Chosen were good enough to run without Cthulhu. But I digress. We're going to talk about the new changes. You can see them on the screen now, and we'll start by talking about Mage. Mage, which is widely considered the most overpowered class in Arena and has been for a very long time. This is mostly due to the power of common cards like Frostbolt, Firebolt and Flamestrike, and recent additions to the common pool haven't exactly made life any worse for mages. And as you can see, it's not really the worst cards that are being removed from Arena, maybe apart from Faceless Summoner, that's pretty bad. But generally, taking these cards away slightly reduces the power level of Mage while not crippling them, and I think that's a really good sign. Doesn't mean it's going to be any less frustrating losing to Flame Strikes and Firelands Portals though. Rogue also lost a card that is widely considered one of its best, which is Goblin Auto Barber. This guy actually allowed you to coin out your hero power on turn 1 and then have just a plethora of different plays available if you've got Auto Barber in hand. Pretty clear that Blizzard were trying to lower the power level of these classes without making them unplayable. And also without removing the soul of the class, such as casting lots of spells as a mage or using your weapon as a rogue. Interestingly, Paladin is being left completely alone, probably indicating that the current power level is pretty much where Blizzard would like to see all of the classes at the moment. And the rest of the classes seem to only be losing cards really that are considered weak. There are some cases where some of the cards being removed are a little bit questionable. They could be strong in certain circumstances if played correctly, and you have to question why Blizzard thought removing them altogether was the correct option. It also looks like Blizzard have gone quite far out of their way to remove a lot of the cards that rely on synergy from Arena. Just off of the top of my head, Totemic Might, Windspeaker, Cool Pet, Lock and Load, Starving Buzzard, Soul of the Forest, Savagery, Lightwell, Confuse, Inner Fire, Anima Golem, Reliquary Seeker, even Sense Demon, Succubus and Sacrificial Pact are all cards that only ever see play in Constructed, rarely, and that's only because of the synergies that they have. Blizzard really want Arena to be different and distinct from Constructed. They make that clear in the statement. And I think part of what they want Arena to be are lots of disjointed bits being put together, without players having to specifically rely on synergies when building decks. Otherwise, as I said before, it looks like the rest of the cards that they included are just considered too weak. But in general, Blizzard want to make these classes better, just like they want to make Mage and Rogue worse. But this is a fantastic start. Blizzard are taking action, they are showing that they do care, and they have said a few times in the past that they don't like the idea of removing cards from Arena, and they'd much rather change the percentages of how you get cards based on something other than rarity. but that is a much more complicated solution, and it's good to know that Blizzard are willing to take action now while they prepare the better solution for the future. And it's good to see that the arena community is taking steps towards something that can really, really last in the long run. Thank you for watching. This has been my first of many videos for Hearthhead. Make sure you drop them a follow on Twitter and check out their website for much more content. And I'll see you for another video next week.